This is the story of my burnt cordial. It's made of burnt pineapple, burnt honey, and burnt star anise. Each ingredient was chosen to highlight the honey, oak, toffee, vanilla, and tropical fruit flavors of Johnnie Walker Black. The cordial is acidified at 3% with an acid blend of citric, malic, and tartaric acid, creating an overall fuller taste while stabilizing the cordial. I also chose to cook it on fire. First, it highlights the subtle smoky notes of Johnnie Walker Black. Then, there's a story to be told, so here I go. When I was 19, I was a pretty wild young adult that had way more questions than the world around me could provide answers for. One day, I left everything behind and bought a one-way plane ticket. I wanted to be free to hitchhike everywhere and live in the wilderness. Basically, I thought I'd become Jack Kerouac. In reality, I found myself free camping on a beach around Tofino. I'll always remember the first night. I was alone in pitch darkness, didn't know a thing about camping, and had to figure out how to build myself a fire for heat, light, and food. I'd never been this scared and excited at the same time in my life. This was the beginning of a wonderful period of self-discovery where I opened myself to the world and started to truly shape the person I wanted to become. 3 years later, I was sitting by a fire next to the Ganges in India when I suddenly felt that it was time for me to go home. Shortly after my return, I met a lovely lady that would soon become my wife. Things fell into place. Eventually, I was offered a job at Foxy, one of Canada's best restaurants. We cooked everything with fire there, so I learned to incorporate it in my cocktails. It turned out to be an extremely important pivot in my career. I started as a bartender and left as a general manager. I grew exponentially. And now, I feel like doing world class this year represents the next step for me. So naturally, I wanted to take that next step by a fire. To me, fire is something that can be cultivated outside and inside. In order to keep walking, to move forward and take the next step, one must nurture that fire inside, accept to be scared and take the leap. So I call this drink Keep It Burning, as a reminder to nurture your own fire, embrace the fear, and keep walking.